The Forbidden Fruit Podcast is back with another certified hood classic.
Welcome, guys. Once again, Forbidden Fruit out here, hosted by Do Marketing as well as Expected Youth. I'm not gonna do introduction for them. Once more, they're gonna quickly soft introduction of who they are, what they do, quick, and then we're gonna dive straight into the content. So let me start off with them too. So, Grootman, welcome. Tell me a bit more of what Do Marketing is about, and obviously give us your name.
Good day all. It's Mtuma Pinda from Do Marketing, and thanks for the invite, man. Today we are Slapper here, Forbidden podcast, and yeah, man, we're just chilling as the guys, as entrepreneurs. So yeah, my name is Mtuma Pinda from Do Marketing, as I said.
Okay.
So Do Marketing is basically a one-stop shop for all small businesses, but which mainly focuses on marketing.
Yeah.
Marketing is our core business. So people usually ask, is it digital marketing? What kind of marketing is it? So basically, we're doing a comprehensive marketing, basically.
Yeah.
And we provide tailor-made solutions for our clients. So it's not a one-size-fits-all. But then you can check out more of what you do on social media and to do marketing across all social media platforms. And yeah, I mean, also dabble in a bit of branding.
Yeah.
And management solutions, whereby let's say that
Yeah.
we'll consult with you, advise you there, provide solutions for you guys. So yeah, man, it's basically what you do. And most importantly, we help you identify a target market. Not just identify a target market,
Yeah.
but also help you engage with it, help you get better at, engaging with it and, for a better bottom line. So yeah, man, that's all.
And
what Do Marketing is about.
And I got a taste him already behind the scenes. It was offline, so I know what he be on. Make sure you check out him too. Yeah, but check out him through marketing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave a link to his socials in the description. So let's pass the ball over to Mr. Bliss right there. Mr. Bliss, let's start off. How you feeling right now?
So the name is Blitz CBO all the way from the X Factor Youth. Like I say, you could put me on the stage, you could put me in the booth. I'm feeling really, really good today.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming, having a conversation with you guys. I mean, I like the griminess, the OG-ness of the podcast. So I was like, no, man, I have to pull through. So I'm really, really happy, really, really blessed to be here. And I cannot wait to eat from the forbidden fruit.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice. Alright. Whoa.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned into it, man. But yeah, let's rip it off. Let's go from the get goes. So, Grootmans, firstly, I wanna ask you guys that in the matter of having to distinguish between abantu that you're trying to win with in life.
Sure.
And abantu that's just having no purpose and direction into life. Like, how do you have to deal with abantu that go into your circle, and what kind of people that go into your circle of these people do fit my kingdom, these people do fit my circle.
Sure.
So how do you go about to choose one of those people that fit into a circle? Let me start off with them too.
Sure. Okay. For me, I'm a pretty much welcoming person. So I feel like for me, it's a matter of I welcome you in and so forth, like, and supporting. But then it's about was basically was Kupa in what sense. So let's say that you're in the circle of mine, as you mentioned, so obviously as a band, so if four of us we're going to be here, so if four doing this, if there are not similarities boy. So as you grow older, you guys get older, you form your own path in life, and then I feel like just people just go out and do their own thing. So for me, I would say there's nothing that I need to pick or talking about. It's more of a thing that I welcome a band. Think as time goes on, we will grow each other or whatever. And I always feel like you can't always be surrounded with a band of anabo. We need to be with a different, but so that now you can learn before the sun. So I would say that for me, I'm not as strict, but obviously as time goes on, the one it's the sense I has to ban, as not done, then it's just
okay. And from you, please, like, how do you get people to get into your circle? What kind of people are they? And also, when they go out for under what reasons?
I think for me, I'm not really you know, an outgoing person, man. I think of it like pottery. You know, when it's in pottery, you need to put everything together before you carve a vase or whatever. So for me, I'm very strict with who I let in. Hence why, like, hey, man, I have to screen you. I have to see you. Why? You know, because my time is important. I don't want to have to just chill and feel like I've wasted a day chilling with Aband, you know. But whereas, like, if I go to example, I'll go and I'll catch some wisdom. You know, if I chill here with you guys, it's not just a conversation. It's also seeing about what can I learn from you guys and what can you learn from me. You know, it's reciprocal exchange. I don't like my time wasted. I really, really don't. So I think for me, what has helped, I think, is also trauma, where I don't just accept anyone. You know, you really have to go through a criteria. You have to go through a criteria. And time I would ask you questions and I feel like it's an interview, but I'm just trying to place you somewhere in my life. It's okay. I think I'll come to you once every 7 months. And you I can spend time with on a daily, because again, I mean, you feed off of people. I don't want to be influenced by abantu. Just because I'm sitting with you. So abantu baga. I'm my own person. I will chill with you when it's necessary, and you know, again, there's a vision. You know, I don't want anyone trying to ruin that vision just because we are associated. You know, we influence each other, so I have to be very, very careful with who I let in. But also, I have to make sure I don't waste anyone else's time. You know, but yeah, so I'm very, very strategic with who I let into my life.
Okay, and also like mentioning that, this also links to like having to accept that like you're a different breed, like you're different from other people. So what would you guys say to someone that's feeling different, that's watching the podcast? Like, okay, I know I'm different, but how do I embrace that being different? You know, being different can go with being like spending time with yourself, like being lonely, like there's nothing much happening with your life, you're that boring. But then the question is, how do you embrace that and just live with it? So
sure, man. So with what you're saying, I feel like, you know, we should just be firstly identify. You said maybe identify that one is boring, for instance. You know, and come to accept it. You know, and then with that being said, if that makes you happy, you know, that's what's important. You know, don't try and impress abanye bantu just so that you can fit in. You know? If you're happy with waking up, sleeping the whole day, you know, maybe I may say it's not productive. But if we're not happy and that day, who am I? So I feel like it must be something you're happy with, and I would say that happiness sense that it's almost, you know, something like something that benefits you. So if for you sleeping all day benefits you, then I can't say anything. So man, from my side.
What you have to say, please? I'm interested to hear what you gotta say.
No, I mean, for me, it's kind of like part of your identity is your talents and your skills and your gifts. I wouldn't advise to just chill and be like, if that's what you do, that's what you do. Because I'm a firm believer that you have a gift. You know, you need to share that with the world. It's kind of like a lemon tree. You know, you can't. We feed off the lemon. We get from the lemon. The lemon just has to grow. So now we kind of like that, where we have these gifts. We're meant to share it with the world.
For sure.
So I would encourage that with your unique set of skills or your uniqueness, just find a way to share it. You know, in a positive light. Because, again, we're not just born to exist. We're born to add value somewhere. You know, true. And everyone has something. And Abantu, unfortunately, try to change that. They try to change their appearance to please other people. Where their appearance is like, yo, you are born this way because someone is supposed to come through and holler at you. You know what I'm saying? But it's really sad, and I think that this generation, especially with TikTok and all this social media, they try to change their identity. Where it's like, no, man, you are this way for a reason. Share it with the world. You know, don't change, dog. Like, really, don't change. But that's my view. So
now, from what you're saying, like, I'm interested to find out, how do you find that uniqueness? Like, how do you get to that point where you find like your strengths? Of which you can spread into so many fields, you can influence lives. Okay? Like, how do you get to that point? Okay, like, get to understand yourself in depth. But this is what I'm good at, and I feel like this can be useful to abanye bantu. I can influence around. Like, how do you get to that uniqueness? Like, how do you understand yourself in depth that much, whereby you feel as if like, okay, this can be impactful to abanye bantu. How do you get there? And open it up.
Man. So I'll speak for me personally, something that happened to me.
Okay.
So I feel like at times as people, we tend to spend a lot of time with abanye bantu.
Yeah.
So you don't really get to spend time with yourself. Yeah,
For sure.
so you don't really get to know yourself. Yeah, boy. So you know the side that chills, time with bliss, time you guys drink or whatever.
Yeah.
But with TK, you guys hit
Much
up chicks.
Yeah, I see.
But that's the only part of you know. But that part is made up for when bliss is around or TK is around. Yeah, boy. But then when I know you don't know, you've never been alone. You know? So for me during a COVID, I spent a lot of time alone. So for me, that's when I started the business, right? That's when I started doing things that I want. Yeah, personal development, personal growth. So I would say that for me, firstly, just spend time alone, but like, don't force it. You know.
Yeah.
Let it just happen. Spend time alone. When spend time alone, you'll find out, you know, what you like, what you're into, because you start searching for things on the net. You know. So okay, start seeing like not like role models, but like, you know, just people. Okay, you know what? I'd like to be like that someday. You know, have the structure. You know, things like they start. Then even the things you do daily, you know, you start working towards that version you want.
Yeah.
But then you can't walk towards the version you want if that version is always infiltrated by bliss or yourself. You know, you have to be independent enough, stand alone. You know, set your own guidelines. You know, and basically work towards the version you want to become.
Yeah. Okay.
I partly agree with that. For me, how I view it, and this is where our parents kind of really hit a flop. You know, with other races, from a child's like youngest form, like the parents are very intentional.
Yeah.
They get them to do as much as they want, and they observe and they see what's okay.
Yeah.
He really likes this. Oh, this is how he behaves around that. Our parents don't even know what we like. You know, 15, 16 years. You ask your parent, yo, what's my favorite color? You know, things like that. It's like, I don't care, just go play outside. Where it's like, and we have to, unfortunately, when we are alone, when we're older, we have to like chill in our corner.
Yeah.
There's things that could have been avoided if our parents were really intentional with us, you know. So I feel like, yes, if you are alone and you feel like your parents didn't really, you know, mind, then be in a corner, probably spend a month, 2 months, just really getting to figure yourself out. But I would like to say that for us that aren't parents yet, when we have kids, let's just be very intentional, because we don't want our kids to waste time.
Yeah.
We want them to know who they are, but we also want to know them, and we also want to advise what's okay. If this one works with his hands a lot, maybe we can consider vocational training. We don't have to force them to go into university.
Yeah.
Compared to when now I'm old, I figure out I'm good with my hands.
Yeah.
Now I have to take it
really
upon myself, and it's already too late. And there's so many things that you could have learned when you were young, had your parents been very intentional with what they desire for you and what they see in you, so that you can, you know, be guided here and there. But unfortunately, our parents, I mean, they don't know much. Some of them are still being educated. Some of us are being raised by kids themselves.
Yeah.
But I just feel if we can avoid having to, at a later stage, identify ourselves, let's just be more intentional. But I definitely agree. It's okay. Just spend time with yourself. Don't be with friends. Don't be with family. Just be by yourself. See what triggers you. See what doesn't trigger you. What brings you pain, but what also brings you pleasure.
Yeah.
And then get out of it. And then you'll come out a better person. That's why it's always just good to just kind of be a monk sometimes. Just be on your own.
Did you also just define how would you be like as a father figure?
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna be very intentional, bro. I'm not gonna lie, because I realized the mistakes that my parents made.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good observation though.
I like the fact that you mentioned parents and them upbringing you into this. It's a cruel world, obviously. Like, you should have some skill or passion that you should drive you to succeed in life. Like, I think that parents should know or should pay more attention to their children and to see if what or where should they be in life or what they want to do, like, for themselves. Because you'll find out nowadays that parents want us to follow their footsteps and do what they did, because they know the mistakes and things that they did in life. But it's not always like that, because the path and the journey won't be the same. See, like, maybe we have more knowledge than they had before. Yeah. I think parents should.
Do you think that's also being driven by the fear of having to? Because I mean, Tina, as black people, one thing I've noticed is from out that's coming from Mikas is that in terms of like a kid having to understand that there is learning. Like Tina, we close that down. Yeah, but we don't want to open up the child or the kid to learning. For instance, on this other day, I went out to this other white guy, a friend of mine. What I noticed was that when I got there, the father was teaching like the kids are good to listen. This is what sexual course is, and these are the results as a guy after. Like it's not really practical, but easy in doing it. Practical, so you get to see the process by born, and then they told the kid, now you know what's gonna come, a puppy, right? So Tina, in terms of transparency with our kids, like what are we doing as black people to be transparent as much as possible? Because as in what you're gonna find is that about to do like banazo, like isn't that they wanna share, but they can't share it in Nabazal about thinking of my on charge, this is not the right person I should have the conversation with. Like, how do we create like transparency of having a good relationship between a child and the parent figure?
No, man, I think with me, what I'll say, so our parents grew up in a different time than us. So the most still have traumas.
Yeah, it's a trauma.
So I feel like at the same time, we should expect some things. At the same time, we should know about, okay, there's a certain type of ceiling. Because for them, even though you look at each and every our parents, now you'll see that, but hey, what they've done for us right now and how they try. Because at times, one of your parents may be trying to bond and interact with you, and you don't really see it that way. But they can't really express themselves, but scared because of what happened in the past, in the country and so forth. So I feel like with them, yes, we must expect them to chill, but there must be a limit, Then at the same time, leaving them, obviously, there's this new age of parents, which is us now.
Yeah.
So I feel like with us, there's not much of an excuse, because most, I'm not sure, we're all born freeze, right?
Yeah.
Born freeze, at least things were not perfect, but better, So what I'm trying to say is that, in very saying with creating an environment whereby of transparency and your kid can talk to you about it and so forth. I just feel like, as you say, that you mustn't be judgmental, and I feel like that kind of vibe is like when you, like with friendship, or maybe at work or whatever. As the senior or the elder, you have to create that environment, so that the child's comfortable enough to come to you, So if you can't create that environment, you can't really blame the child, because it's your responsibility as the elder, then the child, It's my bad.
Sure.
Yeah,
That's bars.
you cooked it.
That's bars right there.
Yeah, that's...
I definitely agree. Like, I have nothing to say there, bro.
But so it's basically parents teaching kids to be like transparent. I would say it's mostly like when they're having to talk about sensitive topics, is just hear them out, and then when you just advise them, and then also tell them about the risk of maybe having to put yourself into this. But what I'd advise is this, like not being was judgmental, or closing it down. But I saw the state, I feel like the minute you get into a sensitive conversation with a parent figure, and then immediately you are shut down on the first or second approach, like you're gonna want to open up to someone else. That is why you find the father figures when we're doing his events or gatherings, they always be preaching, in life you must go through, because they know but they don't get the opportunity to teach
at home,
preach it at home. So with my time and my wisdom, let me just pitch in and want to wake you guys up, give you guys insight on certain things. That's why you find that like with gatherings, if I did Zafika and just be like, yo, Machita, if I was this other time, I was here at the bush, like so it was 2021, and then I think one of a friend I think we like alcoholic beverages, and then the elder was like, hey, you know what, sometimes don't be sorry but be careful. I was like, yay, okay, where's that one coming from? And I was like, hey, you never find those fathers also preaching the same thing at home, but rather with abanye abandu yabo. So talking about that, I want to know, I'm interested to know, what are you guys' role models like while you was growing up? Like, who was you guys looking up to, and why was you looking up to that person?
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, that was quick.
Now,
Okay.
for me, man, I would say that I feel like growing up, there's certain what's this phases, whereby your role model will change and so forth and so forth. So for me, I wouldn't really say there was like an ideal person, like celebrity or whatever. But my father always used to watch like politics in the news, you know.
Yeah.
So I'll see that there, like a president was like, yeah, the highest man in the land. So,
Yeah.
you know what? Like a president feels like, guys, it's like those vibes, you know. It's like those vibes. Everything's depending on you, and you're that guy.
Yeah.
So whenever I just going through life, I used to, you know, use that kind of analogy. But okay, you know what? Yeah. But then obviously, as time went on, in like mid-teens, I would say that for me, role model wise, even today, you know, it's still my father, you know, and I think the running as well. He used to run, so you know, as a kid, I used to say this to people that if you want your kids to do something, at least do it while they're young, or even older, but they must see you doing it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't say that, hey, do this, but you've never done it before. Most kids must copy everything.
Yeah.
So, you know, for me, and just the work ethic as well, because my father is like just a workaholic guy, you know. So, I would say for me as well, it's my father, man.
In question to that, like I want to also ask you, like, do you feel like as if like our parents like create some sort of a blueprint of how we should approach life in general? Like, okay, from what you were saying, you saw it from your father. Okay, this is healthy. Like, actually, I want to do it. Like, think of it from a child that's coming from a poor or a bad environment of having to see your parents having to drink every day. Like,
Sure.
do you feel like that is creating a blueprint in their eyes that this is how you should live life? Drink and that's that.
Sure. I like how you're coming with it. There's both the positive and the negatives of everything, in fact.
Yeah.
So with what you said, obviously in life, you as you get older, you become not wiser, but you can differentiate. You can choose. For instance, you're not forced to do what your parents did, so you can choose from there. Even though most times, unfortunately, as you say, most people maybe grew up in a substance abuse home, will eventually tend to copy that kind of vibe because that's what they grew up seeing. But I know a lot of people as well who have basically fought that pattern, you know, and went the other way, you know, because I'm saying that when you're older, or rather when you've grown, you can differentiate and choose and make your own decision. So what I'm trying to say, you can't say that okay, now I'm drinking up because, you know, my mom and my dad used to drink, and use that as an excuse because you know almost at this age that what leads to what. So I feel like what you're saying, it is true. It does have a huge impact on how the child may turn out. Most probably they will go that route, but at the same time they also have their own mind and choice to basically be a change agent, you know, and go the other way and show the younger ones the different blueprint, as you say.
Yeah.
I think from my point of view, I think we should emphasize on parents showing or teaching kids on how to live this life, not only on telling them what to do, but basically showing them how to live a certain era in life. Or if you drink alcohol, you're drinking responsibly. If you're doing this, you're doing it this way. Obviously, as you said, there's good and bad, but you should be responsible throughout all of that. So I think that parents should really focus on aligning their kids on what to do and what not to do, and how to do whatever criteria it would be. Should emphasize on that.
Yeah. Now, also what I want to talk about is, you know, we are humans. Not everybody is going to be like sharp in terms of having to think outside the box. Like, now how do you move from the under of having to be like from this person that thinks, bana, I know, as in like, you know everything, okay? You do not allow certain things to come in. Like, okay, for instance, I love to refer to as if umuntu that's coming out of like you're programmed to act this way. So now there's more outside of Indo, but there's even books that go against it. But now, how do you change the mental complexity of having to think about, okay, you know what, the right to actually having to come to it, to like a point where I feel like, okay, now I'm looking within. Am I wrong? Was I wrong? How can I improve in this? Like, how do you get to that state as a person? Because what you're gonna find is that also, like, there is people like about always, they think about they know they're right, but actually on the other side is actually more into, it's like you're one-sided. You feel me? Yeah. So how do you change that from being one-sided to having to be like able to like it's I don't want to say 3D like an
Open-minded.
80, being open-minded like
Yeah.
an 80 view to the whole thing. Yeah. So how do you switch from being one-sided to like open-minded?
Read gang books. Like for real. There's
Gang books.
Gang books, yeah. Because like different people have different schools of thought.
Yeah.
They get information from different things. Why don't you just get into a book and try and get into their mind, and then also get other perspectives? I mean, as we're speaking now, we can speak about one particular subject, but how you attack it is different compared to how he's going to attack it. So let me try read how you would attack it, read how he would, then how he would, and then try formulate my own opinion on that.
Yeah.
Because we can't have one train of thought. It's like us all going for one type of girl.
Yeah.
That's
a good example.
It can't happen. We need to figure out what are you attracted? Are you attracted to nyash? Are you attracted to titties?
Yeah.
Are you attracted to face? Am I attracted to legs? You know?
Yeah.
We can't just go because there's the only one.
Yeah.
But no. So we need to be able to have different types of books, different schools of thoughts, because again, like you said, we're diverse. You know, some people assume because we're diverse, we must have only one way. That's when we should actually try to connect things.
Yeah.
That's why there's a microphone that has a transmitter and then a receiver.
Yeah.
Because there has to be that connection. We can't just be assuming it's all of us have one way of thinking. That's just boring.
Yeah.
And that does not grow things. I mean, there's no innovation there if we're going to have one way of thinking. So we have to read as many books as possible. Nowadays, because we're lazy, we go on YouTube. You know, what Dario the CEO says to Patrick McDavid is completely different things.
Yeah.
You know, also the same people in those podcasts will say different things differently, or the same things differently.
Yeah.
So we just need to observe and again be open-minded enough to know it's okay. TK says one thing. Okay, I acknowledge it. But what doesn't do say about the exact same thing? So let's just be open, and then after that we formulate our own opinion.
Yeah.
No.
Sometimes like when I get those kind of people, I feel like they just can't. They like a simple basic thing, which is just listening. I feel like a lot of people can't listen. Like almost like trying to draw out the conversation or ready to jump into the answer without having to listen. Like I'm not even finished. Like already when I start thinking like your own things. Yeah. Well, I love to think of it when you're like this thing when you're approaching in Numbazana. You're drawing out ideas of what to say and how each topic should follow up, rather than having to go in and just talk about anything and everything related. Yeah, but we're just going in depth. Oh, I love this actually where it's going. Yeah. Talking about people and how they connect. Talking about people and how they connect. I love the saying of having to go deep with the person to connect with them. It's like going deep but not wide. Yeah, but being wide is everything that everybody gets to ask. Everything that's, you know, we put Kamalako, your race, so it's
The basics.
the basics that everybody can see. Like that's being wide, but when you're going deep, so when you feel like, oh, I see how this guy thinks, what his ambitions, his plans, how he sees the world. Yeah. Like I feel like that's how you connect with the soul. Like when you go deep. What do you guys make of that? Like going deep and not going wide with a person in terms of having to network and also communicate with one.
No, I feel like for me it's the deep end is not for everyone, in the sense that can't be going deep with everyone. Yeah. You can't be going deep with everyone, and man, I feel like the as you say, the deepness there within you is something you should respect. Yeah, bro, and mustn't be for everyone. It's like at a club, for instance. There's a VIP section, there's a normal section, right? But it's not for everyone. Yeah, bro. And then the wide part, as you say, that is general things, right? But you can still make the general things exciting. Yeah, but in your own way. So if it's exciting enough, it can unlock the deep side. You see where I'm going. So man, for me,
if it's effective enough.
No, if it's exciting enough. We have a conversation. It's a convo. So if the convo is exciting enough, it's like then as you're talking, you're using basically talking to a girl, right? So if the conversation, the wide, right? Because you don't just rock up to a girl and be like, and go deep, and ask her, I'm like the basic stuff. So if you can curate it to be exciting, it can lead you to on the deep end, At the same time, also when you present your wide, the general things, you can always make it exciting, so it can lead to the deep end. I think this is very crucial to like networking, because networking is like just 2 minutes or 5 minutes, and you're a busy function or whatever. So just be like memorable, but at the same time be yourself.
What you guys got some?
You know, I hear what you're saying in terms of going deep. I mean, Nelson Mandela says, "Was if you want to speak to someone, you have to speak to someone in the language they understand. That's when you speak to their mind. But if you speak to them in their own language, you speak to their heart." However, just like he said, the deep end is not for everyone. Because at the same time, people weaponize the deep things that you know. You've shared with this person.
Yeah.
They'll weaponize that. So again, that's when I have a criteria. Level 1, okay. Level 5, okay. Why ain't I no level at all? You know, so for me, again, because of the fact that, you're investing time and energy in people, but on the other side, if there's something that you want, you just need to pick which side of the deep end you want to go to.
Yeah.
You still have to be.
The way you label it.
You have to be CIA. Yeah. I'll share this part about me. That's because I want this person to share that particular part. Not because I want to weaponize, but because I want to see. Would say, okay, are you willing to dip a bit further into the deep end? You know? But you can't go deep with everyone. Other people are just a waste of time.
I think it just comes naturally, that thing. Like, it just comes naturally. Like, you feel as if, I've been talking with this person for this long and I've got to know about them. It just comes, it happened that it came off naturally. Like, you guys did not force nothing. Like, it just happened that you guys went deep. Yeah, but also, I've learned something up. There's, when you go to a club, there's a VIP. And also, because mostly, like, when I conversate with a person, like, I'm trying to understand, like, what's up with you before I even like consider putting you into my circle or even having to fit as any criteria. Okay, that one can be expanded into as new areas. I want to measure. So I'm trying to see, but in terms of like criteria, because also I don't want to just take in everybody and just bring around my space. Because also. For instance, imagine now I'm having like a friend I'm to come in. I know I don't know Lomchita Unjan like PPP like the money from one side and the other second side. But if you forget Lomchita, they call me that's missing at the back. How much time gets to see that now? How are they gonna trust me with having to bring Jalo to? It wasn't in Jalo. Yeah, but also I'm talking about that. Let's take our. I know it's a good 20s here too, but I'd love to tackle anything because one like.
Laughing, bro.
So I love to like tackle everything. I love to tackle everything. I know we're young. Some people are like, okay, now I'm not gonna listen to this channel because of they see me young. But if you're gonna listen to what we have to share, like in terms of your 20s, how do you get the most out of your 20s? Like, how do you make the best out of your 20s, making sure that fika to your later stage, you already know about what you want to do with yourself and where you headed to?
So, basically, you're asking that how to make the most of your 20s, you say. So, man, there's cliche way of looking at life, it's actually like living life, So, as I think for all of us, there's these set guidelines or like society standards, right? 25 or 30 have this, do this, maybe have kids or whatever, But I feel like life is not the same for all of us, So, for instance, for me, I went through a tough time in my younger years, And that thing made me strong, So I feel like that thing that made me strong, I'm grateful that it happened to me at a younger age because I had nothing to lose, But if it would happen now or like in my 40s or whatever, I should have a bigger knock, So what I'm trying to say is that to maximize the 20s, I would say that allow yourself to make the mistakes. Sure. Figure yourself out, be there. Like, but I'm trying to say, be involved in everything you can be involved with. Obviously, that's aligned with what you want and how you think you want to be, So if there's an opportunity, try it out. You never know. At the same time, if it doesn't work out, it's okay. You've at least now learned that if next week or like the other month, the same opportunity comes by or same related vibe comes by, that okay, I'm cool. I've already been burnt. Got a t-shirt there. So I would say, and I think for me, most importantly, just be yourself, man. Because I think a lot of people in this current world we live in, they're not themselves. They're trying to. It's basically two people trying to portray or trying to be other people. In the meantime, if they could have just been themselves. At the same time, because these two people are trying to impress us, like it's the same stupidity, But if they actually knew that, okay, and life would be better for them that way. And I would just say, for closing with that, if we're not happy about, be happy, Because the issue with the pillar ban, it doesn't start and end when you're young. You know, it goes on until.
For sure.
Yeah.
And also, I think what you just mentioned also is leading me to something else. Do you guys feel like as if like life stops getting fun at some point? It's some like timeline, like at different age, it just stops getting fun. Like your 20s is not going to be same as your 30s, as your 40s, as your 50s. So do you guys feel like as if life starts getting fun at some point? Like it starts getting serious?
I feel like there should be a different level of fun. I
Yeah.
mean, how we had fun at 10 years old should be different to how the
for
fun
sure.
we have at 30.
For
You
sure.
know, there's certain things that you should have accomplished at that point.
True.
I always say, like, heartbreak. Would you rather get a heartbreak at 40 years old?
Nah.
The
First
first
heartbreak.
heartbreak.
Nah.
Nah, you need to put that in
Yeah,
18, 19,
yeah.
you know, that way. There's certain things that you should be dealing with at a particular age, you know? And I firmly believe that, you know, in order for you to leverage off of your 20s, you know, 21 to 30, you need to expose yourself early, fail early.
Yeah.
You know, the earlier you fail, you know, the quicker you get to, you know, progress in life. I think some of us in our 20s, we are afraid of failure. As if now we must already have that Lamborghini. Nah, relax, bro. Like, enjoy the journey. You know, enjoy the journey.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Because we tend to take things for granted if we do not enjoy the journey. That's like why I like this whole setup. You know, imagine if you had the 1 mil now to set up the podcast.
Yeah.
There's lessons that you miss. You know,
Yeah,
and
for
there's
sure.
no memory that you all remember when you started with this because you just had the 1 million and it's done.
Ah.
So I want young people to really enjoy that journey, and the quicker you fail, the better. You know, just keep failing, man. Keep failing at 20 to 30. You know, obviously don't make stupid mistakes, but fail forward. You know, I think Unsiga last time mentioned that as well. But you know, you must just fail forward. You know, fail. You know, fail early, because if you look at it in the entrepreneurship space, 80% of businesses fail within 2 years.
Yeah.
So why don't you start a business early so that you can get over those 2 years?
Yeah.
You know, so by the time you're 23, 24, you've already made those mistakes. Now you're moving on to new mistakes, you know? And then also the issue of, well, not the issue, but the advantage of having role models or mentors. There's some mistakes that you just don't have to make because you've leveraged off of other people making those mistakes.
Thank
You
you.
know, there's people that have made 10,000 mistakes, so you can just make 2. You know? So also take advantage of finding people who have walked the path that you are still yet to walk. And that can be done in your 20s and 30s. And that fun, again, is different to a fun from 30s to 40s, 40s to 50s. So within that decade, you need to have, obviously, a plan. Because if you fail to plan, you know, you plan to fail.
Yeah.
So have a certain intention within those years, but also find people, leverage off of people, have your key partners who are going to assist you in carving out certain things, and fail. You know, don't be afraid of failure, because we've been failing. We're still failing now when we're like, okay, let's move on. At least we know that didn't work. But we enjoy the journey, because now we can chat about it. It's like, remember when you organized that event and no one came? Look at us now, you know. So it gives us something to speak about. But be very intentional with what you want to do within your 20s.
Speaking about that, also what I wanna sorry, before I say this, the when you mentioned mentor. I felt that one. I feel like as if like it's useful, cool. Like I didn't see the need of one up until I got to a point whereby we needed to check like contract that we got. I'm saying by this other streaming TV platform that I'm not gonna mention, but I said I'm not gonna mention, but okay, well, this guy ruined it. Okay, but it didn't. We had nothing, but. I'm trying to put myself in a position of we did not know what we wanted to do at that point, but we took that to a mentor. Shout out to Abo, she went through it, and nothing. We was decided on the side, but we wanted to get clarity on how we should move about the contract that we received as a podcasting business. And I think at the both ends, we came to one conclusion of agreement, like having to see easy in the off one way, but then also what we got in and learned. Pan was that banner. We can take contract, make it more of Tina having to pull these people through, like, you know, almost only contract, they're giving you guys this thing about if ever it doesn't align with you guys' plan, then you guys can take the contract and make it yours, go and send it back, go. So it was a matter of how about you guys instead of them giving you this certain amount, how about you guys take this certain amount, like how can you ask for this certain amount and then they can have this certain amount of, because we see like foundation so you guys will be doing much of the work. So you get to learn as easy in the clown mentors. Like it bridges that gap, man, of making mistakes, yeah, bro. So that's great. Talking about a heartbreak, you mentioned a heartbreak. Do you feel like as out as umchita as a hot man, yeah, bro? Do you feel like as if it's a necessity for us to go through a heartbreak at an early age? And what are you taking out of the heartbreak as a person? And how does it push you for the better? Yeah, so let me start off with Romani. Let me start this side.
So I want to ask, when you say heartbreak, which one to be specific? The female one?
With the female.
Or just in general?
With the female.
Oh, okay. So
I feel like the reason why I feel like most of the oaks don't know how to take a heartbreak. They feel like as if there's some sort of missing puzzle into their life. Like, how do you take heartbreak and how do you convert it into something meaningful or purposeful? Like, how do you make the most out of that time? And is it necessary that you go through a heartbreak?
I think for me, coming from a sporting world, heartbreak just makes you want to come back again tomorrow and push harder, to prove a point, not to anyone but yourself, that in sports terms, that you beat the team, but then obviously with the female, it's more of a thing that it's over, I need to introspect and basically accept first, and then go on. But 2 to 3 years down the line, obviously you're not improving solely for this, but you're just improving for yourself in life, right? So when you see your ex again, like 2-3 years down the line, she sees you, and you're in a better state. You're doing great, you know. And she should have the thing, yo. So she has nothing negative to say, but you, okay. She has no negative to say. So what I'm trying to say is that I feel like that thing fuels you, for you to just take time off, the whole relationship thing, and just focus, on grinding, and la anger, you can just transform it into basically grinding. But grinding doesn't only mean like work things, can be working out, new body. It can be a lot of things that basically burn that anger and stress into productivity. Because they say that you're going through heartbreak, took a band and so forth, like alright, go but instead you could just go to the gym or be constructive within the space, and that makes you happy, and you continue pushing, so it's just a matter of taking the heartbreak, the stress, and deciding how to reuse it in a positive way.
Exactly. Like heartbreak is energy. Would you rather just be heartbroken and it's done, or would you draw from that energy? Because it's painful. It's painful, but it's like, I'm not gonna sit around and cry the whole time. Let's use that energy into something productive. And I'll tell you, my best performances come from heartbreak. Ooh, okay. I can even see my productivity. It shoots up because of the fact that I was heartbroken. Because you have a chip on your shoulder. You're trying to prove to these niggas. You're trying to prove to your ex.
You're missing out.
You're gonna want me later on, And during that time, I'm not saying that I'll go out looking for heartbreak, but I know if I'm heartbroken, that's when I'm gonna, push even harder, because now there's that motivation. Sometimes we lack motivation, so we need to get uncomfortable. And being heartbroken is that discomfort. You're like, shit, But then now it's time to get up and move, And sometimes they say that the hard surface is the best place to spring off of. Because you're already down and out, bro. You might as well just shoot up after that, So heartbreak, I feel if you can handle it in a younger age, by the time you've gone through your 10th heartbreak, you numb now. Like you just like, okay, let's keep it moving. And then people will start wondering, how during challenges, how are you so calm? It's because of the experience, and that's hence why you got used to it. Just like how you get used to failure, you get used to, because like, okay, we are gonna fail, but we move, rather than spending so many hours speaking about the failure. Let's move. Let's move. So women don't like that. You get heartbroken. Okay, sure. You move. They're like, you're not even gonna. No, I'm not gonna grieve, bro. Like, it is. Let's move. And it even gives you power, dog. You're like, you're heartbroken, and you don't give any reaction, because some of us feed off that. You know, we want to break your heart. We want to see you fumble.
Yeah.
But because you don't do that, you have the power.
Yeah.
And then they second guess. Hey, should I break up with this person or not? So
Do they love me?
exactly. So it's really liberating if you get heartbroken at a younger age. And you know, when you're old and you have your first heartbreak, you start doing crazy things, man. I mean, Andrew Tate says it himself. You know, there's people that are heartbroken at their 30s and they want to kill themselves because of one woman that decided to just. I was like, but it's a woman though. Like, there's plenty. You know what I'm saying?
There's so many men like that lose themselves, like when they're having to deal with the heartbreaks. Like, this guy was putting in 150 or 200% into this woman, and now you're gonna find that the minute now things go south, now feels as if, hey, I should just put in down or around my neck or going, hey, there's no more life into me. Like, I don't have that spark no more within. Like my life is done without this woman. Like, I personally, I don't know how they move. Like, Isuka pay that whole thing. Maybe having to also think about like the time also having to invest into a woman. But hey, I don't get the concept of having to figure punching the walls and you're just taking the frustration out of abantu. You're just losing your mind, man, over just one simple basic woman.
No, for me, I think it's what Uplisa says that what is this? Not being able to cope. Or having a strategy to cope, deal rather with the heartbreak, because he says that the younger you learn how to deal with it, the better. So it's like with anything, if you have a coping mechanism or management structure style to manage it, you're good. But then it's happening now, old age, don't even know where to start. Hence the spiraling out. So I think my basically that doesn't have my. As you say, like time invested in relationship and so forth, but I think that's just like anyone, we all invest in a relationship, both genders, So it's not much of a thing, but I think that's just that inexperience basically in terms of dealing with that kind of situation.
And it's a fact that in order for you to get over something, you need to go through it. So let's not try to avoid these things. Let's just go through it so that we get over it.
Take the risk.
Exactly.
I love that. One last question before I close off the pod. This is very interesting. It just came up in Gogo now. I'm thinking what you guys are gonna think about this. Having to break habits, like being uncomfortable. Sort of being comfortable with the uncomfortable. Like having to wake up early in the morning, going for that run, having to. Oh, I'm not used to doing this certain thing. Now I'm in a position of having to do it. Like, how do you switch from the mindset of, oh, this is uncomfortable, to actually having to do it full time? I love it every single time. Basically, the reason also why I'm asking this, I love being in uncomfortable positions because I feel like I can learn a lot about myself as well. Like, I feel like the minute like I engage myself, girl, I'm not. I'm not. That's uncomfortable already. But in your thought, when what came first into me, I was like, right? I would love to know her. But now with second thoughts is a figured. Like the primary thing you thought of was like, now. Secondary thing is, do I have the guts to back lamnana? Like, you're just trying to draw out easy to not go lamnana. So the way can be anywhere, the way can be applied anywhere. Of having to also like, in terms of working industry. Ufakwe kwiposition ongazange ucingelele bazofaka kuyo. Be a supervisor. Oh, I can't handle that. You're already thinking about the bigger picture. Oh, there's gonna be a lot of work. Like, how do you cope being uncomfortable and also having to make sure that in the time to come I'll get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Like, it's basically just breaking habits.
I'll go first. So I would say this, that no one likes change, and think of the time maybe I had to change schools. Or change, or maybe leave your parents' house or whatever, no one likes change because, when there's no change, you're comfortable. So change is the same invites, but not being comfortable, being uncomfortable there. So, as you say that, as I say that rather, it's uncomfortable. So not everyone is meant to deal with it or take it on. So it's only a certain type of people that are able to take on. Hence, as you say, not everyone is a supervisor. But not everyone can go and talk to that girl, or and so forth. So it just depends on you and what you want and the type of person you are.
Yeah.
So if challenges are not for you, at the same time, don't expect the reward with going with the risk of uncertainty. Yeah, but at the same time, if you want the change or the position of being a supervisor
Begging that woman
or that female, for instance, you know, you're going to think to yourself, okay, is it better if I go talk to her now, or then go back home before I sleep? Like, sure. Now you're out here touching your friends, but hey, trying to find if you can find a Facebook name or whatever, you know. Whereas you could have just talked to her in person, you know, and get over and done with. You'd have known if she's into your vibe or not, and keep it moving. Nothing to lose. But same thing with the supervisor vibe. You know, taking on the challenge, making more money. You know, creating a better CV. So yeah, I would say then with the habits part, it's kind of related. It's more of a thing that you have to see. Okay, this bad habit I'm doing. Yeah, how is it affecting, you know, the other things I'm doing?
Yeah.
So for instance, maybe like you smoke every day. Yeah, bro. I'm smoking child's money. Yeah, bro, every day. So you're losing. Let's say you're smoking 20s. I'm not sure how much 20s go for. Let's say 30 rand. I don't know. So it's 30 rand. So per day you're losing 30 rand. So a week, that's like 210. 7 days. Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
So 210, you're losing every week. You know, and then obviously a month, that's like 800 and something. Yeah, well, 900, I'm not too sure. So you're losing that a month, you know, then over a year, you know. So where I'm trying to get is that money you're losing, you know, could have used it elsewhere. You know, that could have maybe made you progress in life. Maybe get a certificate, you know, get better equipment, you know, or, you know, invest, get more t-shirts into marketing, you know. Invest, you know, in what you are doing. So you have to look at that, you know. So I feel like with all that being said, it all first comes with acceptance, you know, and then introspecting, and then
I like this question. Martin Luther King says that the ultimate measure of a man is not during times of comfort and convenience, but during times of challenges and controversy. When it's convenient, we formulate these habits. But in order to break out of it, it's challenging. You know, there's controversy there because you're comfortable. But when you're comfortable, that's when you start to lose things because you're too comfortable. That's why your girl, for example, when you're too comfortable, will come and, you know, mess some things up. You know, just ruffle some feathers.
Drama,
we haven't fought in a month. Let's do something and have this big fight just to test if, you know, you still have it. If you go, for example, KwaZulu, I don't know here, but like if you go back to the rurals and let's say you're from the urban areas, you know, those when they see you coming, they want to test if you still have the strength. You know, because you've been comfortable up in the burbs. You know, let's really see how you are. So I think for us, especially those in the entrepreneurship space, we need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's what really separates the men from the boys. You know, because if you're comfortable, you become complacent, you become lazy. It's kind of like when you go to the gym, bro. You know how painful it is going to the gym on day one. You know, you're there pulling the weights, you know, but the consistency, you start beginning to see muscle gains, but you have to go do that tense workout, you know. So that's kind of like what it is. And I think it's also liberating to just decide, it's okay, I'm too comfortable, let's just dive in somewhere else. You know, let's just do that. And many of us, I mean, Elon thrives in being uncomfortable. For sure. You know, that's why you see him causing a muck overseas, because of the fact that, I mean, it's in him. It's like, we can't be comfortable. We didn't come to Earth to be comfortable. We came here for a purpose. For sure. And when you're trying to fulfill that purpose, you have to get used to being uncomfortable. So break those habits, man. You have to switch up habits. Also, because of the age, you know, habits have to change. It's you can't avoid it. Just be comfortable being uncomfortable.
I love that. Just to one last, this one is interesting. One last, how do you guys think like working out in general? Yeah, this one can be wrapped up quick. What do you guys think of workout, and how does it work to your advantage, like when you like reaching out to your like 70s, 80s, 90s, like the prolongevity of having to do is fun and fitness? It's just an interesting question to end it up.
Oh yeah, man. So I say for me, I think older you get, okay, early 20s, and late teens, fitness could just be something rare for physique. But I think as you get older into your 20s, it's more to do with your mental health. You know, for me, I enjoy more mental health benefits than just physical. Because for me, I think now in my late 20s, all is important is just a when I'm wearing a t-shirt, it's just flat. That's all I care about. If it's that and that, I don't really care, because at the same time, that over puff vibe, it's tough to maintain, because one mistake is then when talking about going into Butalin, I feel like you've seen like what is this? In COVID, a lot of people in COVID took a knock. But I know of people who were older that time who are still around now, just because they were working out, because it helps you fight off certain things and so forth. So I think just you doing it, like having a routine and doing it it over time indirectly protects you, from certain conditions and so forth. As you say that, when you're saying almost 70, 90, it can make you live a longer life. But at the same time, I'm not saying that everyone who works out lives longer lives, because people don't work out. They like to say that thing. Yeah. Say if someone who dies was working out, oh, bechima. Yeah, I'm saying that. Yeah.
So, the question is, what I also notice is that abandu, like you see, like elderly white people, like by a team, like you barely come across some dala or litaki, or can you even women like a team? It's always the white. Like I think I can understand the benefits of it. Why, like, you barely go to a white household and then you fake home to or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it happens, but I'm just trying to think of, like, maybe like this is like it was inside, like to just stay a bit active in the later stages, like my question was every single time I go out, why as black people can't be consistent and in love with like to avoid this thing, so I'm like, hey, this let me just bring the upper so that we talk about it, because I couldn't understand by suka this whole thing of not having a banabam to work out, yeah, that was a root cause of asking the question, otherwise, guys, that's it. 58 minutes in, and that's it for today's podcast. And I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did out here. And special shout out to Do Marketing, as I mentioned. I'm gonna leave his links in the description. Same thing for Expert. Hey, catch again, caps and shit. So that
no, dog. There's right there. No capping. No capping. It's right there. No, let them know.
Shout out to Expected Youth, man. Thank you guys for actually taking the time to pull through them clients. Also getting the one in the custom vibe. Yeah, Ban Bass was like, hey, podcast. This is the kind of content that you get. You get the custom vibe, and then you guys definitely as follow we shot on our socials. You guys get to see the behind the scenes. So post what I was doing outside of having to shoot the content. And yeah, guys, we'll catch you through YouTube and this is a certified hood classic.